So today we're in the Navara and it's time to put Apple CarPlay and Android Auto into this car. I've been looking forward to doing this for a while, and let's go through it all and have a look. It's bloody hot. I need to open a window. So what do you get in the box? Let's have a look. You get another box. So we'll get this box out. Here's all the bits and bobs. So the main bit to look at here is you get the 3 USB cables, which we'll get to in a minute. You've got a aux in, which you can pop in. This is for your screen to the box. This is the Loom that basically is the interface between it all. And I haven't had a look. This one here, some sticky pads that you can put down, some instructions, and this speaker here I found out isn't necessary. So they send this with all the advanced models, so don't worry about it for your Navara. And this is the GPS antenna with a extra module that's there. Now these little plugs that you've got here, you can actually plug them in and run outputs to headsets and seat headrest screens and things like that. So we might do that in the future, but for the time being, I'm hoping I can put the box somewhere under here. It looks like it might be a bit too wide, but we'll get to that and have a look. My screen, my setup is the Bose D40 STX 550 Navara 2012 model. As you can see here, I've installed one of my Zatotech screens for my gauges, so they will have to come out so that we can remove this piece here. So at the moment, for those that haven't taken this piece out of their car, there's 2 screws that sit right in the back that are an absolute pain in the backside to get to. I've left them out, so for me this will be easy, but you've got to basically take the box out here, the glove box out here and the trim out there so that you can get to those 2 screens. So the 2 screws, sorry. So let's go through it all and have a look. So what you can do as well is, just to make your life easy, pop this one out, pop that down the side there, and let's just do a quick little test here on our box. Okay, so this is the box itself, all your plugins and what have you, antennas and Bluetooth receivers. So if we have a look, we are very lucky that'll fit. So what we can obviously do is secure that down there. As you can see down there, there's some pretty open space, good amount of real estate for us on this one. So let's get cracking into it and we'll get all the rest of the gear out. Okay, so next, once you lift up the trim, pop it to the side, 2 screws there, and there's 1 and 2 on the other side as well, just underneath. So I want to take pretty much as most of it out as I can, so I can run the cabling down the side of the tunnel here. These are my tabs for the screen, so you just slightly bend them out of the way. So let's get into those ones and remove them now. Okay, next, once you've got your pocket out, just pop it to the side. I've got a couple of cables that I'd rather not pull through, so I'm just leaving it there. This section here should just simply pop out. Now, the strongest bit of advice I can give you, I did this previously and I hope no one else does. As you're pulling this out, do not drag it down the front of your screen. You will scratch it and it will wreck it and look horrible. I did it, 150 bucks later for a new screen. Yeah, wasn't overly impressed. So be very careful when you pull this one out, and we'll have a look at the plugs in the back once I've got it off. Alright, so as you can see, plenty of plugs. Now, there's one over there, which is the hazard switch, and these are all the ones that go into the back of the screen, the stereo, the climate control, and all that. Do not be scared. They literally, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they only fit in one way. So you cannot stuff this up. Basically, the next bit we've got to get to is the back of the screen to put our loom behind, and then we can start putting it all back together. So the screen has a bolt there, one there, one up top, and one down there. They're the 4 that will get the screen out. Okay, so without trying to pull everything apart, that plug there is the one you want. This one stays in, so we're just tapping into this one. So what we do here is, let me just get this one sorted. This white one goes to the box. This grey one here is the screen, and this one goes into the actual plug itself. So let's get onto it. We'll get that back in, feed that back down into the cabin, and we'll put the screen back in. Okay, so first hiccup. Now, this cable here isn't long enough to sit where I wanted the box to go. Oops, focus where we're going. So as you can see, it's right out. So the next best option to put the box is tuck it down here. Now, there is plenty of room down there. Hindsight, yeah, that's probably the smarter way to put it, and smarter place to put it. Easiest solution is I'm actually going to be getting some USB extension ports as well, which plug into the back of this as well. So you probably want to face the USB plug this way. So that lines up to the back of the screen, and you can mount your USB all the way through, which actually will work out probably better in the long run, but wasn't where we planned it. So if you're installing it into your car, just be mindful, it will not reach all the way down where I'd originally said I wanted to put it. So let's mount it up in there. Probably going to be clever. There's no real mounting screws or mounting holes that we can sort of tap into. So it's going to probably be the old cable ties on this one. So cancel that. I've decided that I'm going to mount the second loom. So the second loom, the reason I want to do this is so I can get all these cables and securely fasten them so that we don't have any rattling or any noises or anything like that. And then once we've got that, because we've got such a good amount of extension that we can use, we can pull it forward and push it to the back of the screen. So let's plug them up, and I'll show you how that sits. Alright, so I've clicked all the loom plugs together. That's the back of the Nissan Loom. This goes into the Nifty City Loom, and then that goes into the back of the screen. All the other plugs that are down here, they remain as normal. And this, if we follow, if we've got this tucked in, whoops. So that is the only one that then plugs into the back of the box here. So as you can see, there's a fairly large amount of loom. So what we'll probably do is we'll just tidy this right up now, and I'm just going to zip over to the shed and get some cable ties. This is always the point halfway where you look at it and go, oh dear. Regardless, I've found a better way. I know this sounds a bit silly, but I noticed in the pack that just you can't really see. It comes with a Velcro strip, and I've decided to use that instead of cable ties because that's the drifter in me. But anyway, so okay, we've got cables plugged in there. The blue one that's just down in the bottom, we just need to connect to our GPS antenna. And I've decided that, I don't know if we can see it, but there's a ledge just in the back there that is the top of this glove box. So I'm going to mount the GPS antenna just on that point, which is close enough that it's high up in the dash, so it should get a good reading. So make sure you don't just jam it down there, because if you do, the antenna might not be as receivable, as they say. Now, the next one we'll do is that one, and then we'll stick that one in. Also, don't forget, you've got to plug in your, we'll get over here, the USB one. So what I've done is I think I mentioned before, I've bought a USB plug, which I'll turn upside down. I'm going to put it here. So that's where you'll plug your Android Auto into. If it's Apple CarPlay, it is wireless. Android Auto is apparently unstable. So yeah, let's plug that in and we'll run that one down. Okay, so the next tip is we've got all of our plugs that we've got to put back in. So the smartest thing I think we can do in this scenario is plug in the Nissan stuff first, because as you can see, there's lots of little single ones that you might miss one and then have to tear it all apart. The big ones, leave them till last, and you won't miss any. And just for reference, you can see where the GPS module has just sat just in there. So that's a cracker of a little spot. I'm actually happy with that. That's all tucked down, the little box down the back as well. So it's literally plug it all up and hopefully it should be right. Okay, so we've got everything back together. Just got to put my own gauge back in. Other than that, all working. So for Navara owners, the back button up here does not work. You need to press the back button here. Okay, so basically once you've got all your down here, I've just mounted all my USBs just down here shortly a moment ago. Connect to one of the USBs with the dongle, and then the dongle gets connected to your phone, which I'll plug in. And sorry, my phone stopped recording. Yes, so once you've connected your dongle, and then as you can see, we've got Google Maps. This was fantastic. I had a couple of hiccups where the guys helped me out. I had basically the issue I had was one of the plugs I needed to rejig. Other than that, it was quite straightforward, quite easy. This is all up taking me about an hour and a bit. Now obviously I took a little bit longer because I've got additional gauges and things, but for a standard Android Auto install into one of these, you'd probably do this in an hour. Tidy up down here is the next job, and before I post this, I'll just use this for a couple of days in the car, and I'll give you some real-time feedback. Okay, so I've had the unit in the car for a couple of days now, and I've got to tell you, I love it. It ticks all the boxes I was looking for. I can run the Waze, I can run Google Maps, I can run Netflix, anything Android Auto, and the benefit of having the background software to run additional apps is that you can literally put anything from the Android Auto Play Store, Google Play Store in there, and go from there. I will say, however, there is a couple of things I'm going to make some amendments on. So the first thing I've bought is this pass-through. So it's a switch that you drill into your dash or your center console. I don't like exposed cables, so I've just got this. Basically, you plug these two into the actual the box's USB outputs, and then that goes into your dash, so you've got no loose cables tucked around. So I'm going to install that one very shortly. The next one is, this is the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay dongle that you need to connect your phone to. Basically, sorry, before we get to that bit, this one there plugs into that end there, and that into your phone, that into the unit. Very easy, but again, it's exposed cabling that I don't like. So what I've done is, with the USB cable that I just mentioned, we're going to use that as part of our integration to the Navara. So it basically means that it's all tucked under the center console and you won't see it. The other one we've added here is the headphone aux cable. So this one, I've bought a right angle plug. So what we're going to do is drill a tiny little hole in the center console and have that feed up into the auxiliary input. Other than that, I'll do a proper few shots and videos of it running in a couple of seconds, but let's just get this into the car, get it all tidied up and cleaned up, and then we can say the install's done. Okay, so in order to get the cabling to where we want, I'm going to run just down here the switch somewhere just like that. Okay, so that'll be nice and clean. Basically, to get to behind here, which is where we want to run the aux audio input line to, we need to take the 3 screws out of here. Okay, so once you've got the 3 screws out, this one here simply takes out like that, very easy. And then at the back, pop that just like that. Okay, so now we're at the back of the center console, just underneath my USB charger that I've got here. We're going to drill a small hole so that I can fit the auxiliary line through, and once we've got that one done, we can pack up all the back of here. Okay, so next that little mess is going to get tidied up, but as you can tell, we've now got the cable running through a little hole just down there. We've now got our USB plug plugged in, which just needs a little bit of fine adjustment, which I'll do off camera. Tidy up the cables, throw it all back together, and we're all sorted. So got to say, this is fantastic. Alright, so there we have the install complete. The unit itself is all in the car. I love it. It's fantastic. Does exactly what I want it to do. The only flaw that I can find is that when a call comes through, it won't display the name from your phone book. The way to get around this is hit the back button, and that will revert back to your Nissan system and then bring up the name of the caller at that point. If that's the only problem, I'm wrapped. This is fantastic. So all the apps that I want are now installed. You've just seen a quick run through of how it all goes. What I'm going to do is, this isn't a paid ad, this isn't a sponsored video or anything like that. I've reached out to the company and I've done all the work myself. And what I've basically done is said, there's a lot of Navara guys that are keen on getting this because the Bose system just simply sucks. And they've said, look, due to me doing this video of an install and also trying to help out the team on the forum, they're going to offer a 10% discount to everyone. So basically, in the description of this video, I'll show you the link where to get it and the discount code. It's quite simple. I'm Ben and it's 10% off, so hence Ben10. So 10% off for everyone, which is great. Other than that, I didn't get the 10% off, so enjoy that for everyone else. Pretty much the Navara is done now, so we'll probably find a couple other things in the not too distant future. I'm going to play around with some wheels and tires, maybe a lift kit, and actually go out and use it off-roading. So again, what I would like from this is if you guys can hit the old subscribe button and follow the channel. There's a lot of Navara stuff, there's a lot of Nissan Silvia stuff, and a lot of racing and drifting and what have you along the way. So if you could do me a favor and hit on the old subscribe button, that'd make all this worthwhile for me. Otherwise, jump in, grab a unit, install it, tell me in the comments below how you went. For me, it was literally no more than 2 hours, including videoing. So that in itself takes a bit of time, and trimming the little USB fascia into the dash as well. So there was some little fiddly bits in there. So really, anyone that wants to get into this, it really isn't a hard project. I loved it. The car now is being brought up into 2021. As far as I'm concerned, all cars with Android Auto make life a lot easier. Anyone that wants to download any apps, if you're an Apple user, you do have to set up the Play Store. So just make sure that the apps are on the Play Store for Android. I did see a couple of comments that in my original post that wondering if the apps on the phone would transfer across. It is an Android box, so you do need to access the apps via the Android store. The unit itself, I'll put all the pricing in the description as well, where to get it and the links and what have you. Other than that, go out, get it into your car. It is one of the best things I've done to the Navara. I love it. Thanks again, guys. Cheers.